These two geographical shitstorms make Piccadilly look like a national treasure. Despised by most players, these maps take turns holding the shittiest map award, passing it back and forth like a talking stick in group therapy. In this video, I'll serve as the mediator, the bridge between facts and opinion to create the conclusive truth of which map is worse. To look at what makes these maps so bad, we need to take a look at what makes other maps good. Some long and strenuous researching led me to this page, and the criteria they list, in short, are the following: 3 lanes, sensible spawns, and not cluttered or oversaturated with head glitches. Now, I think these are some solid guidelines to follow when dissecting these coding monstrosities, but we're also going to throw size into the mix as well. Like Professor Utonium putting the sugar, spice, and everything trash all into the pot and mixing it up. Great maps don't have to be a certain size to be deemed good. If a map has a consistent and natural flow to the gameplay, then that's really all that matters. For some maps, the size works for it, and others against it. So for the first point, the lanes. Call of Duty has thrown the 3-lane formula to the trash like a teenager throwing the sock away. There's only like 30% of the map of Taraq that's actually used in-game, regardless of what game mode that is. I've never played Team Deathmatch on this map, and I'm glad, because I'm sure that'd be more boring than watching one of the new Star Wars movies. The map just doesn't encourage any type of flow, and it's pretty much just players coming from every direction to that one little center area of the map, getting lit up like your uncle at the Memorial Day barbecue. This is solely due to there being no lanes, no type of structure or rhyme or reason to why the map is set up the way it is. It's just a section of a ground war map that they size down and then call the multiplayer one. At the same time, I don't think there's a set amount of lanes that make a map fun. But if there was a set number, I don't think 1 would be it. Border Crossing has 1 lane. You would think that makes it more fast-paced and hectic, but it actually does the opposite. Somehow, having just the 1 lane, instead of making it more exciting and action-packed, it translates to a dreadful 8 to 10 minutes of sniping and explosions. Now, to be fair, even though it didn't turn out the best, at least it is a fresh take and something new. Spawns must be like Voldemort to the map designers.
We do not speak his name.
The complaint of spawns have been voiced by COD players since the dawn of time, and it feels like they just gradually get worse year after year, which I don't even know how it's possible. It just gets worse every year. I don't know how it's possible. Both of these maps' spawns make no sense and further add to the randomness and lack of game tempo. Being spawned on the opposite side of any type of action or objective isn't uncommon for either of these, and I really don't know how one of the devs can watch gameplay of this game and think the complaints are invalid. Not cluttered or oversaturated with head glitches. I think this article makes a good point that for a COD map to be quick and fast-paced, it can't promote slow playstyle, which is why excess head glitches need to be avoided. Border Crossing takes that statement, shits on it, and then lets it just sit in the bowl and marinate for a few hours before flushing it down. Every single vehicle on this jam-packed highway is a head glitch. On the little mini lanes on the side, they added trash cans, which also stop any production down those hallways. This map just promotes 12 people standing behind something and waiting for an enemy to run into their sights. I get that it's a crowded highway, and it makes sense, like from a narrative point of view, but as far as just trying to play an hour of Call of Duty after working at a job you don't even want to go to, it doesn't hold up. Shit, if anything, it makes me want to go back to work just to get time away from the game. Taraq, on the other hand, isn't cluttered with much of anything because the map itself is made up of not much of anything. The final point, and the one that we added, was the size of the map. Now, we're evaluating this as the last point because it's a culmination of all the points prior. A map can be small if players can be slowed down a little, like adding the barrels and dumpsters around shipment. And a map can be big, like Raid, but still have just enough cover to navigate, spot to spot without being shot in every direction. I think it goes without saying that Taraq's size does it no favors when combined with the lack of anything to take cover behind. And then border crossing size is a unique topic just because of the layout. So after analyzing and putting the two against each other, it's time to claim which one is the most revolting map of 2022. I'm gonna have to give this prestigious accomplishment to Taraq. This map is absolute dog water. It has no lanes whatsoever, no cover or head glitches whatsoever, and the spawns are actually comical, especially when you take into account the size of the map. It's actually terrible. I have to force myself through a game of Taraq, and most of the time I still give up. I can't do it. I can't make it through. I'd have more luck getting my ass up, traveling to Europe, and completing the Tour de France. That's my take on which map is the shittiest one we've received with this Call of Duty. Please let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are, and drop a like if you enjoy. Consider subscribing for more regularly posted content, and I'll see you next time. Deuces.